The season gets off to a heck of a start. We've played one game, which we won handily, and then we're playing Barcelona. And I'm not going to say this game is going to set us up for the rest of the season, but if we lose, it could set us back. My name's FM20, and it's time to get real. And we are just going to jump right into it. As I mentioned at the end of last episode, this is one of those cases where I did the summer transfer window, a little recap of the preseason and that, little other things. And the episode recorded was about 28 minutes, which means I can edit it down to maybe 25, 24, 23, depending on how much blank space there is and how many times I repeated myself. And then I thought, well, maybe I could play the Barcelona game. And then I thought, if I play the Barcelona game, it's going to be one of those where it lasts 20 minutes because there's freaking a million highlights. So I'm going to move it to the next episode. So, of course, I've moved it to this episode, and I'll watch it be 3 highlights in total. We, of course, are playing our 4-2-4. Seferovic in goal. Broderson, Stevic, Uche, and Slimanu is the defensive back 4. Augusto and Malo is the midfielders. Tollefson and Israel is the attacking midfielders. Roberto and Maria up top is the strikers. They've still got a very good squad. Goodwin's good. Aguado's good. Fati, as we all know, is excellent. Florentino is good. Vera's good. Mahmoud is good. I think it's interesting they don't have Pagano on the bench. They've got Helio on the bench, good though. He can't get past Pagano, or wanted by Man United. What could have been? He had 20 goals for Batiste last season on loan. But he's never done what he's done here. And frankly, if we compare him to Maria, he's better. Not a lot better, but better. And Maria has had some fabulous, fabulous seasons for us. Only 16 goals last year, but that's because we had a lot more attacking options. But 36 a year before that, 19, 15. So, yeah, I think it's one of those cases where Helio followed the money and he never got the playing time with the quality of players that he needed to have around him, and that's why he is not fully developed. I still think he has a lot of growth left in him. Vera, driving forward. Out to Diaz on the right. Diaz drives forward. Oh, knocked away. Uche to Tollefson. Long pass to Roberto, who can't control it. Vera ends up with it. He sends it back to Van den Eek out. To Kresic, to Florentino. Up to Aguado. Back out to Diaz on the right. He's got help. Instead, he's going to drive forward. Center it to Fati, and Seferovic cannot stop it. What happened there, Lazo? And the calls for Ryan Bates to start. Descend on the stadium in Granada, because ours is still being built. Lazo. Dude. Mahmoud. Up to Aguado. Dispossessed by Augusto, but Cesar picks up the ball. Back to Adaliba. Centers it, bounces back and forth, finally off Seferovic and out for the corner kick. Goodwin, who frankly is not doing well. Fati to Vera. Goodwin's only at 78%. That's interesting. He must be coming off an injury. Oh look, Stevic picked up a yellow. And the guys on Barcelona are uninterested, so let's push forward. Goodwin sends it into the crowd, knocked away. Israel runs it down. It's almost tackled by the referee. Drives forward. Cuts outside. Dispossessed by Mahmoud. Fouled. Probably outside the box. And I've got music for this. Mahmoud with a foul. Who'd have thought? It's probably just outside the box. Does Mahmoud get a yellow? We shall have to wait and see. Augusto plinks it, and it is knocked away. Uche's going to run it down, but he can't stop it. Mahmoud didn't get a yellow. Slimane wanted to throw into Maria. Oh, he gives it away, but Maria recovers it. Malo, Uche. Back to Malo, Israel. Wow, he's quick. In the box, takes the shot. Oh, a soft liner past Eekhout. That was probably a mistake on Van den Eekhout's part. Let's see what happened here. Israel uses Slimane as a shield. Gets by the Mahmoud, cuts inside, and just soft taps it. Just wide enough for Van den Eekhout not to get a hand on it. It was a nice strike. Okay. Goodwin's down at 70%. He must have done something. Diaz. Over the wall. Seferovic punches it up in the air and above the crossbar. Goodwin on the corner kick. And Seferovic, a very nice stop. He wanted to be number 16. I said, okay. Kresic to Aguado. To Mahmoud. Back to Kresic. Florentino. Mahmoud. Florentino over to Fati. He taps it forward to himself. Blows by my defenders, but takes the shot right at Seferovic. Coming up on halftime. Very solid, very even game. Diaz to Aguado. Back to Diaz. And I said that out loud because Fati was waiting back post for the cross. Right before half. Thank you, FM. Thank you. I don't know what... Who was that? Who was that? Slimane was thinking. And Van den Eekhout saves the ball. I did take a look before I started the game. I do have a couple offers out for some older defensive right backs to... Oh, good grief. Stevic knocks it out of bounds. For an older defensive right back who can start more often than not with Slimane and maybe someone else coming off the bench. So thanks to a brace of goals by Fati, one of which was a... Ugh. They're ahead 2-1. Other than that, it's been a fairly even game. Tell Stevic to calm down here. Start the second half. Kickoff highlight. Kresic to Vera, all the way back to Van den Eekhout. Kresic to Florentino, to Cesar, up to Goodwin, who split the defenders. Jesus H. Come on, guys. I gotta check something out of here real quick. No, I don't want to see that again. We're gonna pause this. We're going to go to tactics. Ball playing defender. On cover. Central defender on cover. Do I want him to be on cover? No. I want him to be on defend. And we're holding our shape really well. Then again, so are they. Fati to Diaz. Knocked away. Gusto heads it up to Tollison. To Roberto, who almost loses the ball but runs it down, gets by the defender, rounds Van den Eekhout and scores. I was going to say equalizes, but they got the goal early in the second half. Well done, Carlos. Getting some revenge on his old squad. Oh, nice little backheel pass to himself. It's the animation because he's got kind of this 2D, I'm putting my head down running sort of thing that you saw back in the day. And I'm just totally dating myself with that comment. Maria's not having the best game. I hit the wrong button. Slimane, who steps in front of Fati, but Diaz steps in front of Augusto, taps it up to Goodwin. Takes the shot. Seferovic makes the nice save. Rolls it out to Broderson. Tollison ends up with it. Gets by the defender. Holds it up. Crosses it in, and Maria is there, and he scores right before I was going to take him off. But it is 60 minutes in, so after we watch this highlight here, because that was really well done by Tollison, who looks really, really tiny amongst all these other people. Nice first touch by Maria, off Van den Eekhout into the top of the net. I got to check something out here. So we're going to pause. Check out Tollison. 5'8". he doesn't. He's like tiny compared to the guy he's standing next to. Holy smokes! We are going to get Stevic off and bring on Spender. That's what he's here for. Anybody else we have to change at the moment? We got to keep an eye on Slimanu. Worst case scenario, we'll move Uche over. Goodwin. Florentino can't get it. It's knocked away. Roberto has it all alone. Cuts inside. Out to Maria. Nice first touch. He takes the shot, but Van den Eekhout's right there. Probably should have waited for everyone else to catch up, but I can see why he took it. Fati bounces it inside. Splits the defender's long shot just wide right. Can hear the whistle here. Good grief. That was a laser. Kresic to Vera, gives it away. Broderson heads it down to Augusto. He sends it up to Tollefson, who gives it away to Diaz. Heard the footsteps and panic, kicked it too far. Diaz stepped right in front of him. Fati to Mahmoud, to Aguado. Florentino, Diaz, Florentino to Diaz, rounds the defender in near post. Seferovic. That was annoying. Good grief, Lazo. Ten minutes left. Uche on the throw-in. Maria back to Uche. Roberto. Oh, Tollefson was there, and it bounced off, went right to Israel, who scored. What a game. Uche sent it in. Roberto. Tollefson hit it, bounced off Van den Eekhout, went right to Israel, who squared it up. I'm going to do something I rarely do. I'm going to go back to the balanced. Malo. Spender, back to Seferovic. Out to Uche. Over to Slimanu. Maria. Oh, gets by the defender. He's got help, but takes an ill-advised shot that ended up going very, very right. They have been much, much better than us. 19 shots, 13 on target. We've had 15 and 8. Tollefson picked up the yellow card. Of course he did. Uche on the throw-in. Israel. Back to Uche. Slimanu to Malo. Dispossessed. Cesar. Goodwin. He's got no one in front of him. One-on-one with Seferovic. And Seferovic stopped it. 2 more minutes of extra time. Cesar. Dispossessed by Israel. Driving forward. Doesn't really have any help. He could lay it off. Instead, he's going to hit it right at Van den Eekhout, who punches it over the crossbar. Last chance for Barcelona. Knocked away by Israel. Roberto. Goodwin baseline. Aguado's there, but it goes right to Seferovic, and that is the game. Holy cow. Well, thanks to a bit of fortune by Steve Israel, we equalized in the 82nd minute 4-4, which, it's not a win, but it's still a good result. Now I've got to set my training up real quick. So, calendar-wise, here's what we're going to do. We just played Barcelona here. We got the Champions League group stage draw coming up. We will do that. Then we'll play the Malaga game. And then we'll go to the end of the transfer window. When that closes, I'll do just a short little wrap-up. Anybody new joining, probably a defensive right back or two. And we'll go from there. So we'll be back with the Champions League group stage draw in just a bit. Well, the group stage draw is here. We've got our money for it. It was like 15 point something million euros. So let's get this underway. And I totally clicked the wrong button, didn't I? Son of a gun, Angelica, what the hell are you doing, buddy? Good grief. Well, we're playing Juve, RB Leipzig, and Galatasaray. Oh, unreal. Well, Leipzig, they finished 3rd last year, 4th, 2nd. They've been we've been bridesmaids a lot, but never the brides. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund kind of had a stranglehold on the Bundesliga, sort of like Barcelona had a stranglehold on La Liga. Michael Fuller, Ross Ball, good grief. They still got Davies. Everyone else is a regen. Okay, so let's check out Galatasaray. Mohamed, Winjel, Suarez. 34-year-old Luis Suarez up top at striker. Okay. He has been around. He's bounced around. And Juve. If they haven't been winning La Liga, they've been top. Oh, no, they're coming off a... Wow. Let's check something out here. They were going good till 21-22. Then what happened? Sarri was sacked. Zidane left the head role. Tuchel was there for a year. Adnan was sacked. Miroslav Klose has been the interim guy for I don't know how long. Ancelotti's there now. Wow. Okay. Well, they're still a tough squad. I mean, they're still Juve for crying out loud. Bastien Rousseau. Yeah, this is a guy I recognize because he was at Barcelona and always seemed to score against us. Looks like he went on loan. Yep, and they had a loan option to pick him up. I remember that from last year because he had a really good season for him last year. 18 goals. Or 22 goals, rather. And then 18 the year before that. So, jeez, good grief, Jellicoe. Let's click the wrong button for crying out loud. Why don't you? So you know what? Change of plans. We are going to skip the Malaga game and go to the end of the transfer window, which is only a few days away. I have made a couple of moves. And we'll come back next episode for Juve Granada. And then Madrid Leipzig. And then probably Eibar Juve. And then Galatasaray Espanyol. So we'll play at least every Champions League team once on a live comp. So back with the transfer window roundup in just a bit. Let's see, this is the sort of thing that hacks me off. This is Antonio Brandon. Who was released by Sassuolo on a free. I had an offer in for him. He was going to make $300,000 a week. And he ended up going to Madrid. They were both star player contracts. He took the Madrid contract. That's when I turned around and signed Carlos Roberto. But there were 3 or 4 other teams vying for him. But Madrid and I were the only two that I would consider top flight. It's just annoying. I mean, he's a good player, but I think Roberto is... Where is he? Carlos Roberto is a little bit better in a couple areas. I mean, they're, for all intents and purposes, they're pretty much the same player. They're about the same age. Roberto's 2 years younger, but Brand is a little bit more flexible in terms of the positions he can play. He's left-footed, which is what I was looking for. But yeah, that kind of hacks me off. They picked up a star player valued at 82 million euros on a free, of all things. So the one player we haven't mentioned is Barry Verdonk. That is because... Where is he? Right here. He twisted his ankle in the friendly against Basel, so he's been out 3 weeks. He'll be back soon and getting on the playing field as part of the rotation. And he'll spell Tollison at the defensive left, or at the advanced midfield on the left. I've got 20 players out on international duty. If you told me that at the beginning of the season, I would have thought you were nuts. But looking at them, yeah, I've got 20 players out on international duty. Some of them are youngsters, which bodes well for the future. Malaga, we absolutely thumped 3-0, thanks to a brace of goals by Carlos Roberto and a Rune Tollison goal. This game wasn't really a contest, really. We had 19 shots, 12 on target. They had 8 and 4. Everybody had a solid match. I gave Ryan Bates the start. He responded with a 7-1. The transfer window's over. Juve didn't come in, as I'm hitting my mic, Juve didn't come in for Seferovic this time. I suspect in the January transfer window they might. They did, however, get another one of our players. I'll show you that here. So on the outs, Nikola Perovic, who is a young defensive center back, went to Hospitalet, who is one of our affiliates. They asked for him. I said, yeah, sure. He's a star player there. Wad Macchiati, who is he's going to be my midfielder, one of them with potential. He is on loan at Almira on a regular starter contract there. And Almira is La Liga. They're a decent team in La Liga too. So he should see a decent amount of playing time. And then Mutsilia, I put out for loan just to see who was out there interested in him. And it came back, and my director of football was like, I've accepted the following bids for him. And I looked and saw, oh, hey, here's an important player contract. And I clicked OK. And then I realized it's an important player contract at Juve. Now, the nice thing is there's no add-ons or kickers or anything to the loan offer. It's just, hey, it's a straight-up loan offer. But the end result is he is going to get first-team playing time as a midfielder at Juve on an important player contract, which means if he doesn't come back at 3.5 stars, I will be very, very surprised. And he will step into the midfield role next season. On the ends, my director of football recommended Timo Furstein as a defensive right back from Germany, 25 years old, 2-star current ability, 2-star potential ability, solid but not spectacular pretty much everywhere. He's not really deficient in any one area in terms of it's absolutely right across the board. It will make your eyes bleed sort of thing. But it's one of those cases where he's a player who can come in and handle the position as well as can be expected for the majority of the season. He's not a standout, but he's definitely a guy who will start a few games. He and Slimanu and probably Uche will be switching off the defensive right back most of the season. In fact, he can play defensive center back in a pinch too. Is very, very helpful. And then an agent came up and said Alexander Petrov has been transfer listed by request for 10 million euros. Now, yeah, he's a midfielder, and he's a solid player. 2.5-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He's also a defensive midfielder. I'm looking at making him more of a ball-playing defender. That depends on how much his marking improves. But as you can see, he's very solid physically. Mentally, he's pretty solid across the board. The 16 decision-making is nice. The 17 vision is great. Everything else, with the exception of aggression and flair, is 11 or better, 12 or better. Technically, he's a decent dribbler, decent finisher, good on the first touch, good on the heading. 15 passing, 16 technique. Maybe we keep him at the deep line playmaker in the midfield. He's 20 years old. Let's go to that position here real quick. These are all my central midfielders from oldest to youngest. The guys in orange are the ones out on loan because I can't get them playing time here and I can't put them on the B squad or anything like that. Now, Vaclav Hrvanik is listed as a midfielder. He's being retrained as a defensive center back, along with Dennis Thorup, who's also being retrained as a defensive center back. So if I sort by potential, you can see I've got 6 players who are easily 4-star potential. Augusto is 4.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. De Decker is 6 players who are also 4-star potential, all under the age of 20. And then a bunch of young players who are 3.5-star potential. Bish and Ajay will probably be leaving soon. They're just not realizing that potential. I've just got no place for them on the starting squad. But as you can see, they're all solid in areas that I like. And if they're not, they're still young enough that they can improve there. Now, if I take the guys who are unavailable off, this is who I have in the squad now. I take that back. Let me take out the lone guys. So this is my squad right now for depth. Tollison is advanced midfielder on the left, so you can forget him. Slimanu is a defensive starter on the right. So right now it's Augusto, Tollison. It's Augusto, Malo, Petrov, and then Slimanu can come up, Tollison can come back when Verdonk comes on. I've got a lot of options there. So it's turning into a solid squad. The problem is, like a lot of coaches, I tend to buy a lot of young players, and I just don't have any way to play them all. So that's one of the reasons I'm retraining Hrvanic to be a defensive center back, because I know I can get him playing time there. I can get him into the rotation, especially as I'm moving players over to cover on the right side or the left side. There's going to be a lot of players who are going to play a lot of positions this year, whether they want to or not. Thorup is an example. I'm retraining to be a defensive center back as well. He's a ball-winning midfielder, defensive midfielder, which means he will be a very good ball-playing defender. 20 years old, 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. He's improving by leaps and bounds, except balance. I don't know what exactly is going on there. He came to me and said, hey, I'd like more playing time. And I realized, because I've been away for a week and I've forgotten a lot of what's going on in the save, because frankly, I've been playing Escape from Tarkov almost 10 hours a day just to blow stuff up and feel good about it. It's a fun game. It's frustrating as hell, but it's a fun game. And it's frustrating in a different way than Football Manager. I finally found the one game that's more frustrating than Football Manager at times, and it's Escape from Tarkov. But it's a fabulous game. It's a first-person shooter game with a lot of detail. It's a fabulous game. That's all I can say about that. And I don't want to talk about that while I'm talking about Football Manager here. But as you can see, I've got a lot of potential on the center field line, and it's a solid squad. The problem is developing the players and making sure. I mean, good grief, this is my squad now, and everybody except Augusto and Malo are out on international D, which doesn't make a lot of sense. You would have think Malo would have been called up by the Spanish squad, but I guess not. Was Augusto? Augusto's Spanish too, isn't he? No, he's Brazilian. Yeah, it's going to be really hard to get pulled up by the Brazilian squad, even if you are this good. So, but getting to the depth chart, which is where I was headed, we're solid in almost every position. The 2 stars are as they relate to people on our squad. Kerma. Is that nickname? Kerma. Is definitely potential there. He, along with Broderson, are going to be fighting it out for defensive left back of the future. I mean, if we just look at the comparison chart, frankly, I think it's Kerma's to lose. As much as I like Broderson, he's a very young, good, exciting striker. He's also, well, at one point in time, he was wanted by that was Tollefson who was wanted by Copenhagen, but he's also 20 years older. He's also 20 years old. Kermashvili's 19. They're both internationals. Just off of their contract alone, Kerma is going to get more of the starts, but Broderson, rather, is going to get plenty of starts as well. So I would expect, if both of their seasons ended up being 15 starts and 15 off the bench, that wouldn't surprise me in the least. Currently, at the end of the transfer window, we are tied for second place. So Madrid's gotten off to a fast start. Barcelona lose too. Oh, they drew. And Deportivo's lost. So going forward, it's going to be an interesting season, I think. We've got a really good chance to get La Liga again. We've got a really good chance at the Copa del Rey. I would love to get further in the Champions League. Coming up next, it's going to be Juve and Granada, and we'll see you there next episode. If you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I will answer those as fast as I can. I'm FM20. I thank you for